took the better job? Was it Lincoln Riley or was it Brian Kelly? Lincoln Riley now going to USC, Brian Kelly to coach LSU. Let me get into some of these deals here. They are quite absurd in my humble opinion. All right, Lincoln Riley going from Oklahoma to USC. These details are not confirmed, but this is what's going around the rumor mill as of now. $110 million. USC buying both his homes in Norman for $500,000 over the asking price, so a $1 million bonus. Buying a $6 million home in LA for him, and unlimited use of the private jet 24/7 for him and his family. Now, Brian Kelly, obviously going from Notre Dame to LSU. Here's what's going around for him. He'll make $8.8 million in 2023, $9 million in 2025, $9.2 million in 2027, $9.4 million in 2029, $9.6 million in 2031. But the deal has provisions that will allow him to increase those payments. It also offers the possibility of a $1.3 million in annual bonuses, including $500,000 each time LSU is bowl eligible. So these guys are making absolute money moves right now. But Jeff, if it were you, in your humble opinion, who took the better job? Was it Lincoln Riley or was it Brian Kelly?
If we're comparing both the situations, I mean, obviously Brian Kelly, you go to LSU, you have a better opportunity than Notre Dame to not only win a national championship, but just in terms of recruiting. But in my opinion, it's Lincoln Riley. I mean, the USC job, that he talked about making it the mecca of college basketball or football. He can realistically do that. I mean, the guy can take over the West and take over essentially the Pac-12 in terms of recruiting. And if you look around college football, let's just talk about players around college football. I mean, most of these guys are from the California area, if not that general area. I mean, Bryce Young, California kid. Najee Harris, last year, California kid. Bijan Robinson, I mean, one of the best running backs in college football this year for Texas. Arizona kid. So it's these guys. Lincoln Riley is going to have a great opportunity to dominate not only California but the entire Pac-12, and I think he can really build a stable and put USC. I mean, that's a top 2, top 3 job when it's open. USC. I mean, you talk about LSU, and you might have a better chance of winning a national championship when coaches have gone there. They win national championships, but the better job to me is just what Lincoln Riley, the possibility, what he can do to USC, and that's much more intriguing to me. And I have much more belief in Lincoln Riley and what he can do in the West in terms of recruiting. He can absolutely dominate and get so many great players. I mean, you see all the recruits right now already committed to Oklahoma, committing to USC. Like, that's the Lincoln Riley effect. So better job. They're close. I mean, LSU's a great job, of course, but it's USC to me.
Look, LSU is a great job. It's a top 5 job in the country. The talent that Brian Kelly is going to have available to him is going to be phenomenal. Having said that, the clear winner here is Lincoln Riley. Although Brian Kelly is going to have a ton of talent, LSU are 8-10 in their last 18 games since their undefeated season in the SEC. So they've been below average in their own conference. The conference is difficult. You're going to have to go in your own division. You're going to have to go through Alabama, Texas A&M, and I want to say Florida.
And you have to take on for recruiting as well.
Not only recruiting, I'm just talking in games in general. And then you look at the Pac-12, you're going to go against Utah, Georgia. And don't get me wrong, I think Utah are a top 12 team in the country right now. They're playing really good football. Oregon's a good football team. But damn it, none of them are going to compete with USC if USC is at the top of the game. And Lincoln Riley made a comment. He said, we want to make this the mecca of football. And I wish he was joking. The recruiting capabilities that USC has, especially now that NIL is a thing, this is going to be it's going to be historic to watch.
Yeah.
And I think Lincoln Riley in 2 years is in the college football playoff, and I think in 4 years, he's probably fielding one of, if not the most talented teams in college football.
And that's the tough part. Like the Pac-12, like Lincoln Riley has a realistic shot. Like you look at his competition. You have Oregon. You mentioned Utah. Brian Kelly's walking into a situation where I talked about recruiting earlier. I mean, he's going to have to battle Alabama and these schools for not only recruiting but just to win games, and that's the attractive part. Like we could talk about what Lincoln Riley got, the private jet and all this stuff. Like that itself is a whole nother situation.
Kennedy has a problem with that. I don't get it. Kennedy, why do you have a problem with him, getting his homes bought for $500,000 over asking price?
I mean, it just sounds crazy. I can't even fathom ever having that much money. I'm just poor. I don't know. I'm just jealous.
Okay, so whatever. I think it's amazing.
I mean, it just sounds crazy. No, good for him. If someone was offering me that, I'd do anything. And I do mean anything.
Right,
everyone, give me a call. Just kidding.
And I know Lincoln.
You're gonna get us pulled down off the network. God damn it, Kennedy.
And I know Lincoln Riley. I mean, they talked about his decision when he first took the job to USC. He's like, it's very tough. It was a tough decision. Obviously, Oklahoma is a great job in itself, but moving to the SEC was very, very big. I mean, that's a big no-no for Lincoln Riley. I mean, you're going to, again, battle with all these teams in the SEC. Now you're going to take over the Pac-12 with a chance to establish the mecca of football, which, to your point, like realistically with recruiting can do that. So, I mean, listen, USC, they knew what they were getting. Hence why the private jet, hence the buying his house, hence already having a house ready for him in California. So, California, in terms of college football, is going to be back on the map. I can't wait. The state of California must be excited as well.
It's good for college football when USC, Michigan, these teams are good. Miami needs to get better. Texas hopefully can turn it around, but they're going to the SEC, so I don't see how it's going to work for them. I want to transition a little bit to Brian Kelly. A lot of people criticize him for the way he left. He's not a traitor. I think people that call him a traitor and people that are saying he left in a classless way, even like Brady Quinn, and Brady Quinn's been on the network before. I believe you made an appearance on the Bottom Line. That's great and all, but I don't think Brian Kelly left in a classless way. This is a guy that was offered. Let's just call it what it is, guys. Call it what it is. Forget the money. Brian Kelly is a millionaire. He's got 30-40 million in the bank. You think he gives a shit about making $1.5 million, $2 million more in incentives? No, he doesn't. You know what Brian Kelly cares about? Fielding a football team that can win a national championship.
Yep, legacy is important.
He hasn't been to the national championship game since 2013, and they got their asses handed to him by Alabama. Yep. He's going to LSU that will have 10x the talent that Notre Dame has ever had. Brian Kelly, who's a damn good football coach, is going to turn around LSU, and they're going to be a problem in the SEC. I think it's a great move for him. It's a football move. It's not just a monetary move. And same for Lincoln Riley. Oh, he's scared to go to the SEC. No, the hell he isn't. His recruits were they were just fine committing to Oklahoma when they were moving to the SEC. And Oklahoma would have been a 9-10 win team their first year in the SEC, likely, with that talent. I really do believe so. Now, the defense, it is a question mark at Oklahoma. But now that you're in the SEC, you're going to get SEC-type defensive players, and I think they're going to become a lot better. Having said that, Lincoln Riley is taking the better job. Oklahoma is a top 6, top 7 job in the country, absolutely. Don't get me wrong. But it's not in the Big 12 anymore. The Pac-12, USC, the Coliseum, no, it's the better job.
The history there, like it's clearly the better job. But anyway, Brian Kelly, though, I mean, to your point, takes nothing away from the opportunity. I don't agree with that either, that he left in an unprofessional manner. I think, listen, there's the stories. I mean, here are the students, even with Lincoln Riley. I mean, the players are obviously going to be frustrated. And you read the report I saw on social media, Oklahoma players, when Lincoln Riley made his statement that it was hard to leave or whatever, and people are commenting from Oklahoma players and just saying, like, that's what you told us. Or he said something about being happy to be there. He's like, you said the same thing to Oklahoma. I'm like, oh my God. Like, the players might be petty, but at the end of the day, Brian Kelly, Lincoln Riley both made personal decisions. Great personal. It's a career decision.
Players should shut the hell up.
Yeah.
I think players should shut the hell up. They got a transfer portal. They're now making money using NIL, which I think is extremely fair, considering all the money that's being thrown around for coaches. So it kind of puts things into a nice, perspective window. Having said that, they should shut the hell up. They really should.
I disagree.
Checked, if you were offered no, they should shut the hell up. Last I checked, if you were offered a 10-year, $100 million deal to go coach another program with more talent and more recruiting capabilities, with a private jet, you're a new home, selling both of your homes $500K over asking price, you would do it. So how about the players shut the hell up a little bit?
I don't think it's necessarily bad how that he's leaving. I don't think how he addressed the team was fair at all, though.
How so?
Football teams preach respect in the locker room. period, point blank. They talk to each other. We're men. We are a team, etc., etc. It is unfair that these boys had to learn over social media that their head coach was leaving them when they're ranked number 6. Will be going to
the age of social media. Welcome. No.
They should have known first.
I am not going to let you say that. No.
And then
here's what.
Brian Kelly gives them maybe 11 minutes. Other reports say 2 minutes and then say no questions and walks out. That is bull. They deserve more than that. They deserve more than that. Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
No, they don't. No, they don't, and I'll tell you why. Brian Kelly, when offered the LSU job, everything moves fast, guys. When somebody is trying to get you away from your current job where you're happy, comfortable, and successful at, it takes 10x to get you to walk out the door. And that's what LSU provided Brian Kelly. That's what USC provided Lincoln Riley. Those players can sit up there, Coach, you promised me. How could you leave me, Coach? Why didn't you tell me? Shut the hell up. Everything gets leaked on social media nowadays. You know who the NFL teams are drafting before it even shows up on TV because of social media. So how about everyone shuts the hell up and stop complaining about shit getting leaked? It's just the reality of the world we live in with technology. We have way too much information at our disposal. I don't even want to hear it. If the players want to complain, they can shut the hell up. I'm not interested in it. No, just know you have a transfer portal. If you don't like the situation, you can leave. Last I checked, you're on a scholarship. You're making NIL money. You'll be just fine.
And I did see a report too. The Notre Dame players were going out the other night, and they invited Brian Kelly out with them. I don't know if that was sarcasm or whatever, but it seems like at least they acknowledge the fact that it's reality. Like if those students, when they get into the big world, they get into the real world, and they start asking, people start asking, there's job opportunities. Don't. I'm not going to sit here and say the players should be.
Everybody says this is the funniest thing ever. Everybody says we need to tax more, and then what happens? You become successful and you start getting taxed a lot, and you're like, well, I don't like this. And you grew up all your life saying, I want to be taxed more. Duh. Like, they should shut the hell up. They're students. They're still learning about life. They haven't paid taxes yet. They don't know shit about life. They're still learning. And last I checked, every single one of those students, if offered a better NIL deal at a college where they would play full-time, they would leave Notre Dame. It's that simple.
Yep. I agree with you. It ain't on the coach.
Welcome to capitalism. Welcome to a capitalist country where everyone is free to make as much money as they want. If you don't like it, go live in Slovakia. I don't know.
And I also read reports. I think this is underrated. I mean, I was looking into the whole recruiting, and there is a time limit on these things in terms of getting your recruits, getting your hires for your coaching staff. Like there's a timetable, if you will. And I think Brian Kelly acknowledges that and is ahead of schedule. I mean, he's going to LSU. He's going to start early and get things together. So I don't have a problem with him leaving early. Maybe how he addressed the team a little bit, but at the end of the day, like it's his decision. And personally, if he's taking that up, if he's going upwards in his career, good for him. I mean, that's what you want. Lincoln Riley as well. So great. Both of them took great opportunities. So nothing negative to say about him.
Look, I don't know what Notre Dame fans are going to be up in arms about. The guy came in and turned around your program. I mean, he walked in, and in the 3 years prior to him walking in, you were 3-9, 7-6, and 6-6. Shut the hell up. He walks in, you go 8-5, 8-5. You go to a national title game, you lose that one. And then you go 9-4, 8-5, 10-3. You have one down year in 2016 with Brian Kelly. And then what happens after? You go 10-3, 12-1, 11-2, 10-2, 11-1. Shut the hell up. Shut the hell up. Not interested.
All I'm saying is he better not be taking Freeman or my boy Tommy Reese with him, or we're gonna have problems.
No, Notre Dame is gonna
don't touch my Tommy Reese.
Lincoln Riley took all his guys with him already.
I'll straight up start scream crying if that happens.